Hello, new subscribers. I thought that I would read an awesome Bible passage today. This is from Exodus chapter 4, verses 24 through 26. And I didn't fully understand this passage until I was able to let some of my own presuppositions go, and I read pages 11 through 14 of this book, God and Sex, What the Bible Really Says, by Michael Coogan. Michael Coogan is a Bible scholar, and I can definitely recommend the book. It's quite informative. Here's what the Exodus passage says. On the way, at a place where they spent the night, Yahweh met him and tried to kill him. So him is Moses. But Zipporah took a flint and cut off her son's foreskin and touched Moses' feet with it and said, "Truly you are a bridegroom of blood to me." So he let him alone. It was then, she said, a bridegroom of blood by circumcision. What the hell is going on here? The first thing that's important to figure out is what it means when Yahweh tried to kill Moses. The Hebrew word here is bakash. And a reading from the Strong's Hebrew lexicon, I think, gives a good idea of why the translators of the New Revised Standard Version use the word tried. A primitive root to search out by any method, specifically in worship or prayer. By implication, to strive after, ask, beg, beseech, desire, inquire, get, make inquisition, procure, make request, require, seek for. So the point is that Yahweh is making an effort to kill Moses. A passage that I want to introduce for a comparison is Exodus chapter 2, verses 11 through 15, because it uses the exact same word. One day, after Moses had grown up, he went out to his people and saw their forced labor. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his kinsfolk. He looked this way and that, and seeing no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. When he went out the next day, he saw two Hebrews fighting, and he said to the one who was in the wrong, "Why do you strike your fellow Hebrew?" He answered, "Who made you a ruler and judge over us? Do you mean to kill me as you killed the Egyptian?" Then Moses was afraid and thought, "Surely the thing is known." When Pharaoh heard of it, he sought to kill Moses. So the word translated here as sought is the exact same word as tried. A different translation in English does the exact opposite. In the New American Standard Bible, in the passage in Exodus 4, it says that Yahweh met him and sought to put him to death, while in the passage in chapter 2 mentions Pharaoh tried to kill Moses. So it seems like translations into English may be fairly flexible. But the point is that Yahweh is making an effort to kill Moses. But he didn't just knock him dead just like that. Another important thing here, it talks about Zipporah cutting off her son's foreskin and touching Moses' feet with it. Coogan brings up that feet is most likely a euphemistic reference to Moses' penis. And he gives a few examples of different ways in the Hebrew Bible where feet is used euphemistically. This is from Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 56 and 57 in the English Standard Version. You should read this entire chapter. Because it's a list of promises for Israelites if they follow the covenant that they have with God and all its associated rules. But the list of curses, if they disobey, is 3 times longer than the list of promises. And this is one of the curses. "The most tender and refined woman among you, who would not venture to set the sole of her foot on the ground because she is so delicate and tender, will begrudge to the husband she embraces, to her son and to her daughter, her afterbirth that comes out from between her feet, and her children whom she bears, because lacking everything she will eat them secretly, in the siege and in the distress with which your enemies shall distress you in your towns. Another pronouncement of punishment is in Isaiah chapter 7, verse 20. On that day, the Lord will shave with a razor hired beyond the river, with the king of Assyria, the head and the hair of the feet, and it will take off the beard as well. I think that this is insinuating that the shaving of pubic hair is emasculating. This is from the book of Ruth, chapter 3, verses 7 through 9. When Boaz had eaten and drunk, and he was in a contented mood, meaning he was drunk, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of grain. Then she being Ruth, came quietly and uncovered his feet and lay down. So, this is not sitting down at, Jesus' feet here. At midnight, the man was startled and turned over, and there lying at his feet was a woman. He said, "Who are you?" That would be a little startling, wouldn't it? And she answered, "I am Ruth, your servant. Spread your cloak over your servant, for you are next of kin." Now, that we've established that Zipporah touched Moses' penis with the circumcised foreskin, why did she do this? And why did Yahweh leave Moses alone after this? This is because Zipporah tricked Yahweh into thinking that Moses was circumcised. It's a visual trick. And I think that Coogan himself puts it pretty well. Zipporah, to paraphrase, took the bloody piece of skin that she had deftly removed from her son's penis and touched Moses' feet, his penis, with it, tricking the homicidal deity into thinking that Moses himself had just been circumcised. What a strange and mysterious God in this very foreign country. Amen to that.